Today we're diving into the world of Jujutsu Kaisen to discuss 5 underrated curse techniques. Now let me be clear, just because these techniques or their users might be considered underrated doesn't mean they're weak. In fact, they're far from it. Some of these are grade 1 sorcerers we're about to discuss. The last one might surprise you or might not. Number 1, construction, used by Mai Zenin. This technique allows the user to create anything using her cursed energy, which might seem simple, but it's incredibly versatile. Mai was only a grade 3 sorcerer with very little talent for Jujutsu. She was born with very little cursed energy reserves. Mai primarily uses a revolver, which she can imbue with her cursed energy. Her limit was only making 1 bullet per day. Now imagine if Mai had access to a cursed energy pool as vast as Yuta's. With that kind of power, she could create more complex and powerful explosives like nuclear bombs, potentially making her one of the strongest sorcerers ever. And if she could also use reverse curse techniques, she would damn near be unstoppable. The second technique is black bird manipulation, used by Mayman. This technique allows her to control crows for reconnaissance and combat. She can control multiple birds at the same time and from a great distance. Mayman can also share vision with the bird, allowing her to see what they see. She thought she was born with a weak innate technique. As a result, she trained herself to be more effective without it, training her close combat abilities until she reached her physical limit. I think this is a very versatile technique, even though it might not seem the best suited for combat. I think if we picture an expert close combat fighter like Yuji or Todo with basically no physical limit, with this ability, this could be overpowered. They could use the crows to watch their blind spots and coordinate attacks, making them even more terrifying in a close combat battle. Next, we have cursed speech, an inherited technique used by Toge. He is a descendant of the Inumaki clan and has inherited the clan's cursed speech. This technique forces others to obey commands, which is already powerful, but its biggest drawback is that it strains the throat of the user, making them cough up blood if the command issued is too great or dangerous. But if Toge or anyone using this curse technique could use reverse curse technique to heal himself while maintaining his vocal cords, this would be nearly unstoppable. The ability to heal will remove this curse technique main limitation, making it one of the most overpowered techniques in the series. Even with this limitation, I still think it's overpowered, but it is underrated. The fourth underrated technique is sky manipulation, used by Takako. She is a Jujutsu sorcerer from 1,000 years ago who was reincarnated by Kenjaku for the Culling game. Her technique allows her to manipulate the sky and gravity like a tangible surface, giving her incredible control over the battlefield. By grabbing a hold and pulling the surrounding atmosphere as if it were a sheet or cloak, Takako effectively controls space, akin to how a lens creates distortion. Yuta couldn't even land a solid hit on her without using Rika and his ability to copy curse techniques. Even Yuta ended up copying her technique. It's a subtle but extremely powerful and unpredictable ability. If you pull this curse technique out late in any fight, it can turn the tide. And lastly, this one might surprise you, but I'm going with straw doll manipulation, used by Nobara. She uses a hammer, nails, and straw doll. She can imbue the nails with cursed energy and levitate them in the air. These nails are sent into the target using a hammer to hit them and propel them forward as projectiles. When the target is hit by the nails, the cursed energy flowing through them will be used to deal further damage. She can also use dangerous techniques in combination like Black Flash and deal a crazy amount of damage. She also has other powerful techniques such as Hairpin, which she can use as explosive cursed energy that exceeds all her limits. The method in which she uses her straw dolls is by using the doll as a connection between her and the target. Once a link is established, she uses a technique known as resonance. While using her nails, she impales the doll, which also impales the target like a voodoo doll. all. Now I might just be yapping here, but I think if she took a similar route to Mei Mei and started focusing on her physical fighting abilities alongside her curse technique, she could have become a lower level grade 1 sorcerer. It's a shame we didn't get to see more of her potential. Imagine if she had been alive longer to train with Mei Mei. She could have been crucial in the raid on Sukuna. If they planned to cut one of his hands off and throw it to her, her resonance technique could have proved very useful. And that's a wrap. These are my 5 underrated curse techniques in Jujutsu Kaisen. These abilities might not always get the spotlight, but they have incredible potential. Let me know in the comments which technique you think is the most underrated, or if there's another one you think should be on this list. If you're curious about some overpowered Jujutsu Kaisen technique, click the video you see on screen now.